Hello students. In previous two lectures of next topic 7, that is linear programming problem. In short, it is called as also as LPP. You have seen the concept of solutions of linear inequations and equations also. Now in this lecture we are going to learn another subtopic of LPP, that is meaning and formation of linear programming problems, and this is presented by myself Davange AG from KTHM College, Nasik. Actually, linear programming problem is a concept which deals with study of all the problems which are related to day life, and these day life problems are generally given or generally stated in verbal forms, and the conversion of verbal form information into mathematical expressions, that is called as formation. But to form the linear programming problem, we must understand what is the meaning of this linear programming problem. So let us start with one simple example, and by which we can understand what is the meaning as well as how to consider the formation of linear programming problem. So let us start with some simple example. You are familiar with this. What is this? Yes, anybody can guess? This is our favorite dish while we visiting any restaurant, that is paneer tikka masala. I know that everyone likes it. We cannot eat this individually. Along with this, we also need rotis, that is we calling this as chapati. आपण हॉटेलमध्ये गेलोय समजूया, आणि हॉटेलमध्ये गेल्यानंतर आपण आपल्या जेवणासाठी ॲटलिस्ट भाजीपोळी तरी मागवतो. ही जी भाजीपोळी मागवतो या भाजीपोळीला घरी जेवतो तेव्हा त्याला काही किंमत नसते, परंतु जेव्हा आपण हॉटेलमध्ये जेवतो तेव्हा याला नक्कीच काहीतरी कॉस्ट असते. आणि आपण जेव्हा हॉटेलमध्ये जेवतो तेव्हा त्याचं बिल कमीत कमी कसं होईल आणि आपले जे बॉडी रिक्वायरमेंट्स आहेत ते फुलफिल कमीत कमी पैशात कसे होतील, आपली भूक भागेल, कमीत कमी पैसा जाईल, याचा विचार तर आपण हॉटेलमध्ये गेल्यानंतर नक्कीच करतो. याचा अर्थ असा आहे की आपल्याला काहीतरी मिनिमाइज करायचं आहे, पण ते करताना कॉस्ट मिनिमाइज करताना आपल्या बॉडीचे जे रिक्वायरमेंट्स आहेत, आपल्या बॉडीला जे कार्बोहायड्रेट्स, प्रोटीन्स, फॅट्स हे जे इन्ग्रेडियंट्स लागतात हे फुलफिल पण होतील याची पण आपण काळजी करत असतो. So let us start with this simple day life problem. We know that every day life problem has three basic concepts. Behind every action of a human being, there is some aim or there is some objective. This is the first fact. But while fulfilling this aim or while going towards our objective, we have to face some limitations, and those limitations or restrictions are always there while fulfilling our aim or while moving towards our objective. But if you want to fulfill our aim, then we have to be always positive. So these are the three main facts. The first fact is we have some aim or objective. The second factor, while fulfilling aim, we have to face some restrictions or some limitations. And the third fact is we have to be always positive to reach up to our aim. And the same thing is applicable in case of everyday life problem or every planning problem, every production problem. There are many types of problems in our life, and every problem has these three facts. That's why we're going to think on these three facts, and we're going to take the help of mathematics to solve our day life problem. And the technique of solving our day life problem with mathematical technique is called as linear programming problem or mathematical programming problem. So let us start with one simple example. Here we have a paneer tikka masala bowl, and here we have chapatis. Now let us see some information about this. And here we will observe that this information is given in a tabular form. We consuming this to food for us because we want to get something for our body. Say the first ingredient we need, that is carbohydrates, and the second, that is proteins. And it is known that one bowl of paneer tikka masala that contains 25 grams of carbohydrates and 50 grams of proteins. Similarly, one chapati contains 60 grams of carbohydrates and 10 grams of proteins. But we know that what is the requirement of our body per day. The minimum requirement per day of a human being is also well known. Suppose I assuming that I need 3000 units of carbohydrates and I need 150 units of proteins. But while we taking this meal at home, we don't know what is the cost. But if we going in a restaurant for lunch or for dinner, then we have to face this problem that there is we have to pay something for that. And suppose that the cost per unit is known. Suppose that one bowl of paneer tikka masala cost rupees 150 and one chapati cost rupees 25. So this is all information which is faced by us every day at every meal, and the same problem I have taken here. So these are the day life problems, and let us see how mathematics helps us to solve the problems. Now what is my aim? My aim is to minimize this cost and to fulfill these body requirements. I want to get at least 3000 carbohydrates grams and 150 grams of proteins. Now, while fulfilling this objective, we have to face some restrictions also. What are the restrictions? Here, one bowl of paneer tikka that contains only 25 grams of carbohydrates or 50 grams of proteins, or one chapati contains 60 grams of carbohydrates and 10 grams of proteins in one chapati. So these are some restrictions. The other restrictions is that at least 3000 units of carbohydrates and 150 grams of proteins we have to consume, at least this much. Means we have to consume more than that. Less than this is not allowed. That may create a deficiency of proteins or calories. So see how this problem can be converted into mathematical form, so that afterwards by some mathematical techniques and tools we can solve this problem. So let us see what happens. First we have to take some decision, that is we have to decide how many number of bowls of paneer tikka masala should be ordered or how many chapatis should be ordered, and that decision generates variables which are called as decision variables. So suppose that we considering here x numbers of bowls of paneer tikka masala to be ordered and y numbers of chapatis to be ordered, that is we are going to consider initially. So this is called as decision making, and these are the variables associated with decision making. That's why these are called as decision variables. This is the first fact. Now it is clear that one paneer tikka cost rupees 150 and we ordering x numbers of bowls. That's why x numbers of bowls cost rupees 150 into x. Similarly, one chapati costs rupees 25, means y chapatis cost rupees 25y. So what is the total cost of meal? The total cost of meal is, say, z, and it is equal to 150x plus 25y. This cost is supposed to be minimized. That is our objective. Okay, so our main objective is to minimize the cost, and that's why your objective becomes minimize the value of z, which is defined as 150x plus 25y. Here this is actually the combination 150x plus 25y. This is called as objective function because that is related with objective. The second thing that we have to face some restrictions, that is the content in the paneer tikka masala or chapati. Suppose one paneer tikka plate gives 25 carbohydrates, 25 grams or 25 units of carbohydrates. Then as we are ordering x numbers of bowls of paneer tikka, so x numbers of bowls of paneer tikka that contains 25x carbohydrates. Similarly, one chapati gives 60 carbohydrates. Okay, therefore y chapatis that will gives you 60y number of carbohydrates, and therefore as the minimum requirement of carbohydrates is 3000, we should consume more than that. That's why the total carbohydrates are 25x plus 60y, and they should be greater than or equal to 3000, isn't it? So this is your first restriction, 25x plus 60y. This 25x plus 60y, this is 25 into x and 60 into y. That should be in all together greater than or equal to 3000. This is your first restriction. The second restriction, similarly we can consider 50x plus 10y, that should be greater than or equal to 150, isn't it? So therefore similarly for protein the minimum requirement is 150. That's why we will get the condition 50x plus 10y greater than or equals to 150. As x and y, these are assumed to be number of units of paneer tikka or chapati to be consumed. That's why they should not be negative, and hence the values of x and y, they should be greater than or equal to 0. Here equation 2, this equation 2 and equation 3, they are called as constraints or physical limitations or restrictions, and x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0, this is called as non-negativity of input variables or decision variables. These are your decision variables. They are always considered to be non-negative. They are greater than or equal to 0. So you have equation 1, that is called as objective function. Okay. Then equation 2 and 3, they are called as constraints, and these are called equation 4. It gives us non-negativity restrictions. These all in together gives us the problem which is called as a linear programming problem. Means our day life problem can be fitted into a mathematical form with the help of objective function, and the constraints are in equations. They may be sometimes greater than or equal to types, they may be sometimes less than or equal to type, and sometimes may be equality also. But while we going to convert the problem into mathematical form, we have to be careful that the corresponding variables must be non-negative. So this is general format of a linear programming problem. So a procedure or a mathematical tool which helps us to convert a day life problem into mathematical form, that is nothing but a linear programming technique. It is also called as mathematical programming technique. Okay, so let us see what are the concepts of this basically. So let us start with a concept of linear programming problem. So linear programming problem in short called as LPP. And what is LPP? LPP is an optimization technique used in different fields such as management, planning, production, transportation, and not only these much fields, these are limited fields specified here. You can use this technique in problem solving of every field. It is applicable to the concept of LPP is applicable to everyday life problem, and that's why it is very important concept of math. Actually, it is developed during the Second World War to optimize the utilization of limited resources to get maximum returns. When in the Second World War, actually lot of damage was done and there were limited resources, and the public want to use that limited resources for maximum returns. That's why this techniques comes out and they gives us the actual concept of linear programming problem. So linear programming is used to minimize the cost of production and to maximizing the profit. आपण मगाच्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये आपल्या दृष्टिकोनातून विचार केला कॉस्ट मिनिमाइज करण्याचा. हॉटेल मॅनेजरच्या दृष्टिकोनातून विचार करा, तो काय करेल, तोच त्याची प्रॉफिट वाढवण्याचा प्रयत्न करेल. मग आपल्याला तो पनीर टिक्का बरोबर काहीतरी अजून घ्यायला सांगेल, रायता घ्या, पापड घ्या, अजून सलाड घ्या, असं काहीतरी सांगून तो कॉस्ट वाढवतो. किंवा चपाती बरोबर देताना साधी चपाती देण्याऐवजी बटर चपाती देऊ का असं म्हणतो. साधी चपाती 25 रुपयाला असेल तर बटर चपाती तो 40 रुपयाला देतो. म्हणजे तो काय करतो, स्वतःचा प्रॉफिट वाढवण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो. सो प्रॉफिट or cost, when you considering, we always tries to minimize the cost or we always tries to maximize the profit. So objective is to minimize something or to maximize something, and that is called as optimization technique. So to minimize or to maximize means optimize. Okay, this is concept of linear programming problem. Now programming problems are also known as optimization problem. I have just told you that minimization or maximization, that is called as optimization. The mathematical programming involves optimization of certain function called as objective function. I told in the starting example that our objective was to minimize the cost. But if we thinking in a point of view of hotel owner or a restaurant owner, then his point of view is to maximize the profit. So that's why everyone has some objective, and according to the person the objective is changing. Someone wants to minimize, someone wants to maximize that objective function. But that objective function is always subject to some conditions. There we have seen restrictions were there. Okay, so those restrictions are known as constraints, and they are supported by non-negativity restrictions of variables. Now see what is the meaning of linear programming problem. Linear means a mathematical expression or a mathematical function that contains variables of index at most 1. For example, suppose we considering 2x plus y 5y. We know that this is linear expression in two variables. Here what is the maximum power of x and y? That is 1, isn't it? Power of x is 1, power of y is 1. So such a mathematical function in which the variable has index means power at most 1, just the power 1 asते, that is called as linear expression, and everyday life problem is possible to fit in this linear expression form, and that is our aim. A linear programming problem may be defined as the problem of maximizing or minimizing a linear function. That is, if you considering this 2 as a profit, 5 as a profit, then 2x plus 5y is supposed to be maximized. But if you taking 2 as a cost, 5 as a cost, then 2x plus 5y is supposed to be minimized. So maximization of something or minimization of something is always there of a linear function, and that linear function is called as objective function, subject to some linear constraints. So constraints are also linear. They may be in equations of greater than or equal to or less than or equals to or equal to types, and these constraints therefore may be equations or inequations. Now see some important terminologies in this concept of linear programming problem. The first concept that we have seen, that is decision variables. What it contains? It contains variables involved in a linear programming problem. There we have decided, assume that x numbers of paneer tikka and y numbers of chapatis are supposed to be consumed. So what that indicates? That indicates variables involved in a linear programming problem, and those are called as decision variables, or those are also called as input variables. Okay, these are startings of linear programming problem. Second thing, objective function, the quantity which is supposed to be maximized or supposed to be minimized, that is which is supposed to be optimized. A linear function of variables which supposed to be optimized, that is either maximized or minimized, is called as objective function. Next, we have to consider constraints. We have seen there were restrictions on carbohydrates and proteins, how much they required minimally, how much they required maximally, how much availability. All those things are taken into considerations as restrictions. So conditions under which objective function is to be optimized, they are called as constraints. Okay, and these constraints are in the form of equations or inequations. We have seen greater than or equal to, those are inequations. Next, non-negativity restrictions or non-negativity constraints. Whatever may be the decision variables we are using in the problem, they are always considered to be non-negative. So in some situations the values of variables, they are under consideration may be positive or 0 due to imposed constraints. So the constraints are whatever may be, but these non-negativity of input variables, they are always there, and such constraints are referred as non-negativity constraints. Okay, so these were some important terminologies from linear programming problem. Now, what is the meaning of formulation of mathematical formulation of linear programming problem? At the start of this lecture, we have seen that daylight problems are generally specified in terms of verbal form, and that verbal information afterwards we have converted into equations and inequations, where we have considered objective function, constraints, non-negative restrictions, whatever it may be, they are mathematical expressions. So to convert a daylight problem into mathematical form is called as mathematical formulation of LPP, and there are specific steps for this formation. So what are the steps? Step 1 is identify decision variables. In start, we have assumed that x number of paneer tikka bowls and y numbers of chapatis to be consumed. What was that? They are input variables or decision variables. Sometimes they are also denoted by x1, x2. Sometimes they are denoted by xy, but sometimes x1, x2, that type of notation is also used. The second step is to consider objective function. So identify the objective function and write in it mathematical form. For example, if profit is there, it is supposed to be maximized. If loss is there, it is supposed to be minimized. If selling price is there, it is supposed to be maximized. If purchasing cost is there, it is supposed to be minimized. So many things are there which we have to always take into consideration while considering objective function, but mainly they are of two types: maximization of profit or selling price, or minimization of loss or cost. Is that clear? Step 3, identify the different constraints. or restrictions or limitations and express them in the form of mathematical equations or inequations. Those are called as constraints. And these three steps gives us important parts of any day life problem when converted to the linear programming problem. Now we have to note some important things. We shall study LPP with at most two variables. Now actually there are many variables are also possible, but according to the scope of syllabus of 12th, we have to take into consideration the problems only with maximum two variables and not more than two variables. The second important thing, we shall restrict ourselves to a LPP involving non-negativity constraints. We are also going to take into consideration non-negativity of input variables. That is also important part. Okay. So let us see now what is the general form of linear programming problem. The general form of linear programming problem, objective function may be maximization or minimization of objective function. It is always of the type C1x1 plus C2x2 up to Cn xn, where this C1, C2 up to Cn, these are called as cost coefficients or profit coefficients also. They are subjected to some limitations. The limitation may be of less than or equals to type or greater than or equal to type or equal to type, and that is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to on right hand side, and they are given as a11 x1 plus a12 x2 up to a1n xn. What is this a11? This is coefficient of first variable in first equation. A12 coefficient of second variable in first equation. A1n coefficient of nth variable in first equation. Similarly, what is am2? Coefficient of x2 in mth equation, or amn coefficient of xn, that is nth variable in mth equation or mth inequation. This is a general form of constraints and subject to sign restrictions on each variable. Each variable is considered to be greater than or equal to 0, that is non-negative. And here what are the decision variables used? X1, X2 up to Xn. This is actually general format, but we are going to restrict ourselves for the problem with only two variables in our syllabus of 12th. So let us see some simple examples to understand this concept more clearly. So let us start with solved examples, and then we will also going to consider some unsolved examples from exercise. So first example contains a toy manufacturer produces bicycles and tricycles, each of which must be processed through two machines, say machine A and machine B. So a toy manufacturer is there, he produces two types of toys, bicycles and tricycles. They are processed on two different machines, A and B. Machine A has maximum of 120 hours available and machine B has maximum of 180 hours available. So machine A is maximally 120 hours available, machine B is 180 hours available, and manufacturing a bicycle requires 4 hours on A, 10 hours on B, and manufacturing a tricycle requires 6 hours on A and 3 hours on B. If profits are also given, profits for bicycle is 65 rupees and for a tricycle it is 45 rupees, and our aim is to formulate a linear programming problem to have what given here. We have given profits and profits are supposed to be maximized. So that's why formulate the LPP to have maximum profit. This is our general day life problem. This is also called as production problem, and we want to obtain the expressions for this problem mathematically, which is called as the formation of linear programming problem. So let us see how it is possible. Okay, so suppose we considering here a solution. This table clears everything whatever which is given in the previous problem. This is our problem. See here, machine A machine A was available for 120 hours, machine B was available for 180 hours. You will see that in this table. Here, machine A is available for 120 and machine B available for 180 hours. A tricycle takes 6 hours on A, 3 hours on B. A bicycle takes 4 hours on A and 10 hours on B, and the profits per unit, they are also given. Now we have to start with the objective. Let Z be the profit. So it is clear that here initially we have to take a decision, that is we have to maximize the profit by manufacturing and selling tricycles and bicycles. So it is clear that as X and Y are assumed to be production of tricycles and bicycles, a negative production is not possible. I have produced minus 5 bicycles. Is it possible? No. Or I have produced minus 7 tricycles. Is it possible? No. So they are either 0 or positive. So that's why variables should be non-negative. And it is clear that we have assumed X tricycles. This is X tricycles and Y bicycles. Therefore, the total profit is 45X plus 65Y, and therefore as we want to maximize the profit, here we will observe that maximize Z, that is equal to 45X plus 65Y. This is nothing but your required objective function. We also need to consider constraints. It is clear that from the table the remaining conditions we can consider. One tricycle needs 6 hours on A. So X numbers of tricycles, they need 6X hours on A. Similarly, Y numbers of bicycles, they takes 4Y hours on A. So total time taken by two products, that is here 6X plus 4Y. This is total time taken. But as it is available for only 120 hours maximally, therefore 6X plus 4Y less than or equals to 120. Similarly, here we can have 3X plus 10Y, that should be less than or equals to 180. So that's why you will get two remaining conditions. Here 6X plus 4Y, that should be less than or equals to 120, or 3X plus 10Y, that should be less than or equals to 180. These are your two constraints or two restrictions. So it is clear that your corresponding linear programming problem is maximize Z, which is equal to 45X plus 65Y, and these are your constraints. 6 subjected to the conditions or constraints. 6X plus 4Y less than or equals to 120, 3X plus 10Y less than or equals to 180, and as non-negativity is also there, according to this condition X and Y should be greater than or equal to 0. So this is a concept of linear programming problem. It contains objective function, it contains constraints, and it contains non-negativity of input variables. Is that clear? So this is something about the linear programming problem formation. Let us try for another example. Suppose here we considering a second example that contains a horticulturist wishes to mix two brands of fertilizers that will provide a minimum number of 15 units of potash and 20 units of nitrates and 24 units of phosphates. There are two types of brands. One unit of brand 1 that provides 3 units of potash, 1 unit of nitrate and 3 units of potash phosphate. 1 unit of brand 2 that provides 1 unit of potash, 5 units of nitrate and 2 units of phosphate. 1 unit of brand 1 cost rupees 120 and 1 unit of brand 2 cost rupees 60 per unit. Formulate this problem, and what is our aim? The aim is to minimize total cost. Okay. Now see how this formation is possible. Suppose I consider in the solution. Here it is clear that Z be the cost of the mixture. So it is clear that we have to assume X units of brand 1 and Y units of brand 2. There are two brands. So assume that X units of brand 1 and Y units of brand 2 are supposed to be mixed. Then it is clear that as they are number of units, they should not be negative. So X and Y greater than or equal to 0. Since 1 unit of brand 1 cost rupees 120, that is given here. 1 unit of brand 1 cost rupees 120 and 1 unit of brand 2 cost rupees 60. So that's why the total cost is S. Z is equal to, Z is considered to be total cost of the mixture. So Z is equal to 120x plus 60y. Similarly, here as it is a cost, therefore it is supposed to be minimized, and therefore your objective function becomes minimize Z, that is equal to 120x plus 60y. Clear? Now this table gives all the information which we have considered, and we have assumed that this is taken into consideration as X number and Y number. So that's why as the minimum requirement is 15 units, so we should get greater than or equals to 15 units. Since 1 unit of brand 1 gives 3, therefore X units of brand 1, that gives 3x, similarly 1y. So total consumption of potash is 3x plus y, that should be greater than or equal to 15. Similarly, nitrate x plus 5y, that should be greater than or equal to 20. Similarly, 3x plus 2y, that should be greater than or equal to 24. All this information is given here. 15 units of potash, 20 units of nitrate and 24 units of phosphate is the minimum requirement that will provide minimum of, this is minimum requirement. That clear? So those are listed here, and how much is contained in each brand, that is given here in this table, and therefore it is clear that you will get the constraints as the first constraint is 3x plus y greater than or equal to 15. Second constraint is x plus 5y greater than or equal to 20, and third constraint is 3x plus 2y greater than or equal to 24. That clear? So this way you can consider formation of linear programming problem. So that's why if you want to write this problem, then what is your problem? Minimization of cost. Minimize Z, that is equal to what? You have to consider this 120x plus 60y. This is your objective function. Then these are your constraints and these are your non-negativity restrictions. This way you can form a linear programming problem from the given information. So generally here the problems, daily problems are stated in a verbal form, and they are when expected to convert into mathematical form. That mathematical form is called as linear programming problem or mathematical programming model. This is actually the concept of LPP. Is that clear? So in a next lecture we will see some examples which are given as unsolved examples in exercise. We will think on that in a lecture. Thank you very much. We will meet again in the next lecture.